Let's start with what the Pi browser actually is, because, understanding its role really makes the version 1.50 update make sense. The Pi browser is the gateway to the entire Pi ecosystem. It's not like Chrome or Firefox. It's specifically designed to access Pi-based apps and services. Every decentralized app, every service, every tool built on Pi's network, all of it runs through this browser. This matters because if the browser crashes or, glitches, the entire user-facing ecosystem becomes inaccessible. You can have the most robust blockchain protocol in the world, but if the gateway into it is broken, users just can't access it. Version 1.50 isn't adding flashy, new features. No new buttons, no new interface redesigns. It's focused on system-level stability improvements, backend optimizations, protocol compatibility enhancements, infrastructure hardening. It's the kind of work that doesn't really look impressive on a feature list, but it actually determines whether the system functions under stress. These improvements are targeting, smoother operations when users interact with the ecosystem, better support for upcoming protocol changes from the node upgrade, reduced latency and glitches during heavy network activity, and improved compatibility with new consensus mechanisms being rolled out. Here's the critical insight. This update is being released days before the mandatory node upgrade. That's intentional. You really don't want to have a browser that's incompatible with protocol changes when those changes go live on February 15th. So, think about the timeline. Browser version 1.50 rolls out now. Users install it over the next few days. By February 15th, when nodes upgrade to version 19.6, the ecosystem has a compatible browser already in place. No gap between protocol changes and browser compatibility. No window where users are running an old browser against a new protocol. This is infrastructure thinking. This isn't let's release features whenever they're ready. This is let's sequence releases so they support each other and avoid system-wide compatibility issues. Most projects just don't think this way. Most projects release updates independently. They say, browser update is ready, release it, and node upgrade is ready, release it, without really thinking about the coordination between them. Pi's team is thinking about the ecosystem holistically. Browser plus protocol plus users equals an integrated system that needs coordinated updates. The browser update and node upgrade aren't separate events. They're choreographed pieces of a larger system transition. This is how professional blockchain projects manage evolution at scale. The February 12th to February 15th extension of the node upgrade deadline wasn't random either. It gave operators time to have the updated browser installed, tested, and running before the protocol change. It aligned the browser rollout with the node upgrade timeline. So, here's the sequence. Browser version 1.50 starts rolling out immediately. Like this week, users upgrade over 3 to 5 days. That's January 12th through 17th approximately. The browser is widespread across the ecosystem by February 15th. Then, the node upgrade to version 19.6 hits on February 15th. Protocol changes land on a browser-compatible ecosystem. Now compare that to how most projects do it. Protocol upgrade happens. Users are still running the old browser. Incompatibilities emerge, support tickets flood in, and the team has to issue emergency patches. Pi's approach, though, prevents that chaos by planning ahead. The extension of the node deadline also tells you something else. The core team prioritized getting the pieces in place correctly over hitting arbitrary dates. They extended 3 days because operators needed time. They're managing coordination, not just checking boxes on a timeline. This is the difference between a team that understands infrastructure and a team that's just trying to look busy. Now, some people might complain that the deadline got extended, saying, see, Pi can't execute on time. But honestly, that's missing the point. The original deadline was reasonable. But when you realize that giving operators 3 more days actually improves system stability, you extend it. That's professional project management. You don't stick to a deadline that compromises system integrity just to be technically on time. Now let's look at the domain claims opening because they're connected to the same ecosystem development strategy. Earlier, Pi held auctions for domain names. Users could bid and claim them. But here's the catch. You can't just sit on a domain name. If you claim a domain, you must build a working app to keep it. It's not just registering a domain speculatively, it's reserve this domain and build something with it. This is actually brilliant incentive design. It says we want quality apps, not just hoarded domains. It pushes developers to actually create utility instead of just speculating on domain names becoming valuable. Compare this to traditional internet domain registration where people can buy domains, sit on them, and resell them later for profit. That creates a scarcity without utility. Pi is saying no. Domain names tied to empty apps don't add value. Domain names tied to working apps create real ecosystem utility. This approach also connects to the browser and node upgrades. You've got 16 million KYC verified users. You've got a stable browser. You've got a robust node network. Now you're saying to developers, here's the infrastructure. Here's the audience. Build something useful. Domain claims become more attractive because the infrastructure to build on actually works. The node upgrade improves stability. The browser update ensures compatibility. Developers can claim domains knowing the ecosystem is becoming more reliable. It's all connected. Each piece supports the others. 16 million KYC verified mainnet users is the context that makes all of this make sense. This isn't 16 million account registrations. This is 16 million people who proved their identity, completed mainnet migration, are actively participating in the ecosystem and have skin in the game. That's a significant user base. That's beyond just being an interesting project with some users. That's actually approaching network effect scale. Now just scale up from there. 16 million users need a browser that works. Browser version 1.50 ensures that. 16 million users are waiting for a stable node network, and node upgrade version 19.6 moves toward that. 16 million users need apps to actually do stuff with, and domain claims push developers to build those apps. The browser update, the node upgrade, and the domain claim system are all serving 16 million users at the same time. They're not theoretical exercises, they're practical infrastructure for actual users. This scale is really why coordination matters. You just can't afford to have the browser incompatible with the protocol. You can't afford to have nodes unstable. You can't afford to have no apps for users to interact with. The team is managing the experience of 16 million users. That's not a small thing, that's infrastructure at real scale. Each update serves a purpose in that larger ecosystem. Browser stability supports user experience. Node upgrades support network reliability. Developer incentives support app ecosystem growth. If you're seeing how Pi's team is coordinating infrastructure maturely, you need to like this video right now. One click helps the algorithm reach more people who care about actual development instead of just hype announcements. Plus, share this with other Pi community members. They need to understand that the browser update isn't random. It's coordinated infrastructure planning. They need to know why these releases are happening together. When a project coordinates browser updates with protocol upgrades, extends deadlines when operators need it, and ties domain claims to developer incentives, that signals something important. The team understands system-level thinking. They're not just adding features because they can. They're not hitting deadlines just because they said they would. They're managing an ecosystem of interdependent systems for 16 million users. Here's what smooth coordination suggests. Infrastructure planning is happening, dependencies are being mapped, timing is being coordinated, and user experience is being prioritized. This is different from projects that just release updates when they're ready and hope everything works together. The browser, the nodes, the domains, the users, they're all parts of one system. The team is treating them as interconnected instead of separate. Pi has faced delays before. The mainnet opening has been pushed. KYC verification has had backups. Open mainnet timelines have shifted, so when the team shows they can coordinate multiple moving pieces, that really builds credibility. It shows they've learned from previous delays and are now managing complexity more carefully. Now, smooth coordination doesn't guarantee success. The version 19.6 upgrade could still have issues. Domain claims could have unforeseen problems. The ecosystem could face new challenges. But coordinated releases suggest the team is thinking 2 steps ahead, not just reacting to immediate problems. That changes the probability of success. February 15th is a milestone, not the endpoint. After version 19.6 completes, there's version 19.9 scheduled for February 27th. Then, version 20.2 is planned for March 12th. The protocol upgrades are part of a multi-step process. Each upgrade is supposedly building toward open mainnet. That's the end goal. Open mainnet is when Pi becomes fully accessible, when anyone can join, when the network is truly decentralized. Browser version 1.50 is preparing for that. Node upgrades are preparing for that. Domain claims and app development are preparing for that. It all moves toward open mainnet. That said, predicting exact timelines for Pi has been wrong before. The team has been delayed multiple times, but the infrastructure is being built. Users are onboarded, the ecosystem is developing. Success isn't guaranteed, but the pieces are being put in place methodically. Thank you for watching this analysis. Pi Network's coordination of browser updates, node upgrades, and developer incentives shows mature infrastructure thinking. That's worth recognizing because honestly, many projects just don't operate this way. Whether Pi ultimately succeeds depends on execution. But the infrastructure coordination we're seeing suggests the team understands what needs to happen and is managing it systematically. If you want to stay updated on Pi's infrastructure progress, if you want to know when version 19.9 and version 20.2 hit, when Open Mainnet might launch, what the next ecosystem developments are, stay subscribed. We're tracking Pi's actual development, not just the headlines. Check out the other videos on TJ Crypto World. We've got deep dives on node operations, protocol upgrades, blockchain infrastructure, and everything else you need to understand how real projects are built. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the Pi community, and I'll see you in the next infrastructure analysis.